Today on the Travel Magazine, we discover Dutch towns with a golden history. Spakenburg, an ancient fishing village, and Hoorn, a city of merchant homes, canals and churches. We'll take a steam tram to Medemblik. And we'll visit a historic ceramic factory in Makkum, Friesland. Windmills? Of course. We'll also travel across the famous Afsluitdijk and cruise through the canals of Giethoorn. The Zuiderzee in Holland is no more. It was laid to rest in 1932 when the Afsluitdijk was opened. The Golden Circle is a ring of towns and villages around the former Zuiderzee that tell us of their historic past. Hi, I'm Jake de Boer.
And I'm Mieke de Boer, and welcome to Spakenburg, a fishing village where tradition is still alive and well.
The town of Spakenburg is a center of fishing tradition, and once a year, locals and tourists alike pay homage to days gone by. Spakenburg is in the province of Utrecht, just east of Amsterdam. Centuries ago, Spakenburg was a vibrant fishing village. Putters, as the fishing boats are called, filled the harbor, and the air was filled with the aroma of fish. When the Zuiderzee was enclosed in 1932 with the construction of the Afsluitdijk, Spakenburg lost much of its importance as a fishing center. But today, Spakenburg is still a favorite with recreational sailors and holds remnants of the old fishing fleet. The people still have fishing in their blood. The village history is upheld by 650 inhabitants, with some still wearing their traditional costumes.
Now my head has to go through this. Oh, and I'm stuck. Oh, here I am. Oh, dat is goed.
De banden hebben ze vergeten. Nou,
Moet dat daarbij?
Ja.
Huh? Moet de okay, around my neck, so that I can still breathe. I still have to do some. So there's a lot of pins in here. Yeah. So here I am. I am happy that in Canada I don't have to starch this all.
Fishing is, and always has been, a passion for the people of Spakenburg. From freshly caught herring to smoked eel, seafood is prepared by traditional means. You can buy freshly smoked eel from one of the cheerful fishermen in traditional costume. And when you take a deep breath at the harbor, the air is filled with the scent of days gone by.
Well, that looks very nice. Can we eat it? Oh, you take the head off. And, oh, that looks very good. Smells very good.
Okay, Mieke, there it comes.
Kun je halen.
Smoked eel.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Very nice. That's terrific, huh?
This is very
Beautiful.
nice.
As you leave the old world charm of Spakenburg, take one last look at a proud village with its strong ties to the past. Our next stop on the Golden Circle is Hoorn in the province of North Holland. The beauty of ancient Hoorn transcends all time. Around the old harbor, you feel the atmosphere of its glorious past. Look over the bronze shoulders of the literary characters from Scheepsjongens van Bontekoe. Join their gaze across the water and experience the former glory of its harbor, filled with proud three-mast ships.
Hoorn is more of a trading village, you could say, or a trading city, which has had a peak period in the 17th century. It is an old city. If you look at it from Spakenburg, it's not that old, but this city goes back to the 13th century in the very first buildings. But again, the most important period for this city was the 17th century, the golden age, you call that. And this city flourished enormously. The area that we're in right now is called West Friesland, and Friesland is in fact also a province in the country up north where they have their own language. But this specific part is of course located west from Friesland, and that's why it's called West Friesland. Okay. So we are, you could say, in a very old part of the country.
Now the Frisians are going to love me for what I'm going to say. You said Frisian is a language. I thought it was a dialect.
No, they're not going to like you if you say that. Frisian is an official language. It's spoken by the Frisians. It's also taught on schools.
Yes.
And if you like to, you can even study Frisian. So don't say it's a dialect. It is a real language.
But North Holland, called West Friesland here, is not part of Friesland.
It is absolutely no part of Friesland, just named after.
As a Groninger, I just have to set that record straight.
Okay, you set the record straight, Jake. That's fine.
Hoorn's present-day beauty is a tribute to its powerful past. When we return, an historic steam tram will take us to the 16th century town of Medemblik. And we travel across Holland's famous Afsluitdijk.
No cooking,
No,
no baking,
just
only salt.
only salt. So, beautiful.
Steam trains and trams were once a mode of transportation that linked the cities and provinces in the Netherlands. In 1996, the signal house in Hoorn went back into service, taking passengers from Hoorn to Medemblik.
wonderful way to see Holland.
Well, you know, it's part of the Golden Circle. The town of Hoorn was a merchant town in the Golden Century, and going to Medemblik, it was another one, so it really is very unique. And this steam train, you know, I was on it as a young boy, not on this one, on other steam trains when there was nothing else. So, and this is unique, and the beauty of it is, it operates from Easter Sunday to the end of October. It only costs a few guilders, so it's not expensive, and I think they've done a fabulous job.
And you see the part of Holland, you know, you see the tulips and you see all the cattle and the sheep, and I think you see the real Holland going through it by train.
We travel north from Hoorn to Medemblik, one of the oldest towns in this region. Medemblik lies in the elbow of the IJsselmeer. As the train pulls into the station at Medemblik, you're greeted by one of Holland's many windmills. Medemblik is believed to have been inhabited in the 8th century. Later it became one of the most important ports along the Zuiderzee. But with the building of the Noordzee Canal that connects Amsterdam with the North Sea, Medemblik's maritime role eventually diminished. With its narrow streets, squares, canals and monuments, Medemblik has rejuvenated itself by building on the glory days of the Golden Age. At the heart of it all is Radboud Castle, a beautifully restored 13th century castle that dominates the city. Now we'll travel north on the Golden Circle to Makkum. Makkum is on the western seaboard of the province of Friesland, just south of the Afsluitdijk. What is the canal going right through town here?
Yes, that is the Zeilroede. That means the canal where the sailing ships passed on their way to the North Sea. And they went to all eastern countries, to the Baltic, and they brought the tiles also to these countries, and you still find them there. And they brought back the wood from the Baltics, which was used in the kilns and for the shipbuilding industry. Next to the harbor is the Liar's Bench, which is also very old, more than 3 centuries. And the old man sitting there, as you see here, they are lying and telling each other big stories. And there is one hole on the right-hand side. You see the hole, and every Makkumer boy who wants to be a real Makkumer has to creep through that hole. Otherwise, it's not a real Makkumer. You see?
Can I still go through it?
You can try. Shall we try?
Late in the 16th century, Makkum's connection with pottery and tile making emerged. In the 19th century, Makkum suffered an economic downturn. Its fishing fleet dwindled and only one pottery maker withstood the hard times, Royal Tichelaar. One of the more interesting attractions in Marken is the Tichelaar porcelain factory. Here, the detail and spirit of 16th century artisans is alive and well.
Van het concert des levens krijgt niemand een programma.
From the concert of life, no one gets a program.
That is so true.
That's nice, huh?
Yes, let me put it back. They are beautiful tiles.
Yeah.
Here. And look at this Marken. Look at this ceramic.
Isn't that beautiful?
This is something you only really can get here. And this is made from the Frisian clay.
I know, but you know, you have to watch one thing. You know, they have a sign in the store.
Yeah.
If you drop it, you've bought it.
Oh, no, I'm holding it.
So hold on tight. But
and the work is called majolika. And this is actually done with a very fine, it's hair of the cow from the ear.
Yeah.
And it is done very, very fine. The color doesn't look the same. And then when they bake it, this is the color it turns to. It mingles in the oven.
It's beautiful. I mean, the colors are so incredibly bright. Look at all the other plates. And actually, I want you to put it down. I'm scared you'll drop it.
Or were you thinking of buying it for me?
Tomorrow.
Now look at this all. You know, this place is called the Royal Tichelaar. You know what Tichelaar means?
What does the word Tichelaar mean?
It's tile maker.
That's right. Very good, Mieke.
And look at all the paintings and all the different patterns.
Ancient structures, modern times, are truly the spirit of the Golden Circle. When we return to the nation of windmills, we'll visit the famous Afsluitdijk. And the Venice of the North, the village of Giethoorn.
We will be back with more of Giethoorn in Overijssel just after this, so stay with us.
Can you say scheven, schijven, schuurders?
No, but I say Giethoorn.
And you do it now.
Welcome to Schermer, a region rich in windmills. Tell me about this windmill. I see it was built in 1632. And how much water does it pump? Tell me a little bit about the technique of it.
Well, the technique was that the water level inside the polder was 4 meters lower than the ring canal. So the water had to be lifted 4 meters. But one windmill could only rise the water about 1 meter. So they needed 4 windmills placed in a sort of a cascade system. The lowest ones with higher, higher and higher. And then when such a group of windmills worked, the water that they could pump out was about 60,000 liters per minute. Each windmill, with a good wind, of course. They needed wind.
And you can still do that today?
It could be done only by this group of mills, who is well fully operational in case of emergency. They can still pump out the water.
Our next destination is responsible for creating the Golden Circle, the Afsluitdijk. Following plans created in 1920 by engineer-statesman Cornelis Lely, The dike was completed in 1932, linking the provinces of North Holland and Friesland. At that time, de Zuiderzee was renamed the IJsselmeer. Our final destination on the Golden Circle is Giethoorn. A truly unique village, which is well known as the Venice of the North.
In the northern part of Overijssel is a beautiful village called Giethoorn, which actually means goat's horn. This village started in about the year 1200 because refugees came from the Mediterranean and they started digging peat, and they, consequently they dug the canals, and first peat came out of it, and later on the canals were used to transport the peat to different parts of Holland, and that is how they were selling it.
And I've also heard that there was 2 big storms, water storms, and then they flooded the place, and the peat was just taken away from the canals, and this forms the canals and the waterways.
And it's now a village or a town that consists of canals and bridges, and this is how everything in the past was always transported. It has changed a little bit, but they've kept it very much the way it was 2, 3, 5, 6 centuries ago. And what amazes me is that they still transport the cattle by boat. Well, that's it for the Golden Circle, and I hope you've enjoyed our show as much as we have. For the Travel Magazine, I'm Jake de Boer.
And I'm Mieke de Boer, and join us again as we travel the world.